Hey, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. Welcome to Open. Coming up on today's show, we'll visit or revisit a recent conversation with a board-certified neurologist who is giving hope to millions of people battling migraines this summer in the form of a brand new migraine relief supplement. Then we'll look back at our discussion with a global banker, entrepreneur, and chef who is cooking up a great thing. He's cooking up some great meals that will have you saying, oh, yeah, man. And plus, we'll reflect on how a local library has made its impact on the Norwood community for the past 7 years. And finally, we'll revisit a sit-down with the founder of Kingsbridge Unidos, who is also celebrating an important milestone and so much more. So all you have to do is sit back, kick off your shoes, and relax your feet. We're open. Here we go. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. So stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, National Migraine and Headache Awareness Month is here, and millions of Americans battle the grip of debilitating migraines. But hope arrives in the form of a brand new migraine relief supplement that is being launched by Dr. Kenneth Munnerlyn. Let's take a look. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. We know a lot of people that just can't shake it. I got this headache. I can't get rid of it. Sometimes you'll be on the phone with somebody. I got this headache. I got to go lay down. I got this headache. And they're dealing with a number of different things. Some of them can be allergies. Some of them can be just something that comes on, a reaction to what you're eating. Or there's a number of things out there, right, Doc?
Yeah. And a lot of people who have migraine, it tends to run in families. So the incidence is about 50% of people have a genetic reason for having migraine headaches.
Yeah.
Now, some of those things that will provoke it tends to be things that you mentioned before, like foods, cheese, chocolate, cured meats and nitrates, things like that. It tends to have sort of a migrainogenic type of effect on people.
Yeah. Well, what prompted you to create your own migraine relief supplement?
Well, as a neurologist, I've pretty much dedicated my life to sort of brain health and helping people be healthier and fuller in how they live. But my journey for migraine it was more of a personal story with my son. And my son developed migraine headaches when he was 5 years old. He's about 6.5 right now.
Yeah.
And it was a scary moment when he was crying and he kind of passed out, went to sleep. And it was a scary feeling, to see that in my son. Now, as a neurologist, I treat migraine for a living, and I've been doing that for over a decade now. It made me really think about also all the countless patients that I've seen that want a natural alternative to prescription medications and how they treat their migraine. So most people are worried about the side effects and things like that. They just want a more holistic approach. But as a physician and a parent, I just figured, let me come up with something that might offer a better way for people. So that's pretty much why I created this supplement. And so it's backed by science. We're using things like magnesium, B2 vitamin, feverfew, and one of the things that we're using that's a little bit different is probiotics.
Yeah. So, but you studied Western medicines, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you said, you know what? But you know how that works.
Right.
But it seems like when you got your son involved, you said, wait a minute, I got to get right down to it. I got to find something that will get more to the root of the problem that's not so maybe powerful. Because when you get into supplements, it's a little more subtle. It gets in there. Although you can find something that's a little stronger. But but chemotherapy instead of supplements, meaning chemical therapy, chemicals instead of supplements, Sometimes doctors want to go straight to it, but you found something different.
Well, I've always sort of had an integrated approach to medicine in general. I mean, I practice allopathic medicine, but also there are things that people did back in the day that were also effective. The
Ah,
medicine man was telling people to chew on willow bark, and we later called that aspirin. So, there was something that could be said for, using that integrative approach and how we
yeah,
treat patients. And again, for what we're doing, we're taking natural supplements, again, things like magnesium, B2 vitamin, CoQ10, and the probiotics, as these are things that have been studied as well.
yeah,
So, for the treatment of migraine, for example, B2 vitamin, I use a lot in my pregnant patients because I'm so cautious about giving
yeah,
other medications that might affect the development of the baby.
yeah,
So, but there is research behind it, and it is known to be effective in migraine prevention as well.
yeah. So probiotics deals with the
Pro-
intestines and everything
Mhm.
because you can get a headache from that. You can get a headache from not eating.
No, that's true. And the thing about the gut health is, there's a whole concept called the neural gut axis, and that's going on in discussing, or really about the concept of how your gut and your brain works together.
Yeah,
So, for example, 90% of serotonin is produced in your gut. And serotonin is implicated in things like depression as well as migraine headaches. So
yeah,
those types of things might be helpful in mood. If you look at your Prozacs and Zoloft, those are working through those serotonin
uh,
channels as well. So,
yeah,
we're kind of tackling it from a more holistic approach and from an inflammation perspective, as well as the antioxidants and things like that, sort of anti-inflammatory effects
yeah.
of what
The
we're doing.
Egyptians were up to something years ago. Back in the day, they went to colonics and everything. They knew
Uh-huh.
that something was happening with the insides. We need to keep these things clean, so that we can live a little longer. So
It
they
is
they
true.
knew they knew something was up, and I'm glad
They
you
do.
found something for your son,
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
which helps us to use it for people that are having. I have a niece that she's always complaining about the migraines.
Mhm.
Sometimes she just can't take it for like days at a time.
Yeah, and many of the patients that we see in our clinic, the average person, they're having migraines once a week. Some people are having them every day, multiple times a day, and it affects people's life. It affects your quality of life. It affects
Yes.
people's ability to work, to have relationships. People are having to call off of work, and so our goal was to try to find something again that didn't really have much side effects, but also affected your headache intensity as well as the frequency. So people can use this as a primary treatment or supplement for migraine prevention or as
Yeah.
an adjunct. So if you're taking an everyday medicine and you're still resistant, this would be an add-on to that treatment.
Yeah. But there'll be no reaction to taking both, right?
No, there's no reaction. You don't have to worry about any sort of drug interactions and things like that. And we keep in mind most of these things are naturally occurring. So magnesium, these are in foods, the B2 vitamins and things like that, CoQ10. These are all things that are naturally occurring. So you're not really worried about side effects from anything else that you're taking.
Yeah, yeah. And what makes Dr. Munnerlyn's migraine relief different from other migraine supplements?
Well, again, I think the bigger thing that's making us difference is we're tackling the neural gut axis and how our gut is affecting our migraine, our energy levels, our mood, and things like that. It also helps improve your immunity as well. And so we're adding on the probiotics to this because I think that the probiotic addition will have a significant benefit in migraine
Yeah,
prevention.
I like that the magnesium that you put in there also. It helps clear out some things too.
It does. It'll keep you regular too.
Yeah,
But also again, it's good for things like sleep,
yeah,
for
that's true.
relaxation, mood, and things like that. A lot of
Yeah,
people are using that too.
that's good. That's good. And how long does it take for someone to start seeing the results?
You normally in these situations, I would say probably about 8 weeks. But with that being said, there are other benefits that you'll see early. So
Mm.
by 8 weeks or so, probably max at 12 weeks, you'll see a significant reduction in the migraine intensity, the migraine frequency, but also some of the added benefits that you'll see much sooner, because these things are still good for
Yeah.
overall health. You'll see things like better sleep, better mood, better energy, and things like that that'll come much sooner.
Doc, do you have any tips for people who are suffering or dealing with the migraines to deal
Probably
with it
one of the
naturally?
Mhm. One of the bigger things, probably the single thing that probably would make the most difference is making sure you stay very well hydrated.
Ah,
Dehydration is one of the more common causes of people having these migraines. They go to the pool, they go out drinking, and they get dehydrated from that. And so, aggressive hydration is the one thing of all these things that will make the biggest difference in that.
is it seasonal? People think that they get thirsty more in the summertime than in the wintertime. I don't. What do you think?
Yeah, there is some seasonal component, usually with changes of season. So if you have changes in barometric pressures, that can provoke migraine in people that have a tendency to have migraine in the first place. So that's probably one of the bigger things with that.
Can you still take the supplement if you just want to? You don't have the migraines, but you still want to improve your health?
You can, and you can see a lot of these supplements sold in isolation. So you can go out and buy your probiotics for one thing, and then your magnesium for another thing. And it's good for overall health. So our goal was to put it all together. It's actually much cheaper to do that too
Yeah.
than go take a bunch of pills and take all of your 4 pills of your magnesium. So it is good for general health as well. So again, helps with better sleep, better mood, better energy, and overall better health.
Will it help a person think a little bit better? Brain health.
Right. Most definitely.
Yeah, good. Where can people find you?
So they can find us at www.drmunnerlyn.com, and also on Facebook, Dr. Munnerlyn Supplements for Life.
Dr. Munnerlyn, thank you so much, and you got to come back. Our house is your house.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You got it. All right.
All right. Take care.
Dr. Kenneth Munnerlyn, founder and Dr. Munnerlyn's Migraine Relief. And of course, we appreciate everything that Dr. Munnerlyn is doing to help people get what they need out of life. We have to take a quick break right here, but we'll come back and give you more next on Open.
What's up, creative family? Discover your voice with BronxNet Community Media classes. Are you ready to bring your ideas to life? At BronxNet, we offer television production classes for community members ages 18 and over, empowering you to share your vision with the world. Get certified in field production, in-studio production, and our new exciting addition, podcast production. Once certified, you can create your own show to air on one of our 6 TV channels. It all starts with our free Unleash Your Ideas Masterclass, designed to help you plan your show idea and set you up for success on your production journey. This class is offered at the beginning of each month for your convenience. Our dedicated BronxNet team is here to support, encourage, and uplift you every step of the way. Join us and become a part of the creative force that engages and inspires the Bronx community and beyond. Sign up today and start your media journey with BronxNet. Visit bronxnet.org/education to learn more and register. Let's create something amazing together.
Welcome back. We had a great opportunity to sit down with a chef who's doing wonderful things. He's cooking up a storm. He's an entrepreneur also. He's worn many hats with a diverse background in modeling, banking, and culinary arts. We highlighted his new catering business, Kim's Kitchen, and tried some of his delicious dishes. Ooh, you got to check it out. Let's take a look at our conversation with Kimanie Travoy. Kimanie, check it out. Welcome to the show, Kimanie Travoy.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Wow. Wait, what do we have here? We got cameras all over the place. Let's explain what. Well, of course, that's a big lobster dish, but it's stuffed.
So, like I mentioned the last time we spoke, I like to bridge cultures and bridge just gaps everywhere. And Easter's coming up, right?
Yeah.
And traditionally on Easter time, I'm Jamaican, so we would normally do things like fried fish or escovitch fish.
Yes.
And I decided to kind of
can't sell fish.
Exactly. I decided to flip it this year, and I was like, if you can put escovitch on a fish, why can't you put escovitch on a lobster? So I made escovitch lobster.
Look, she's licking her lips over there. The floor managers are going nuts.
Recipe to follow. Yeah, I've actually, kept my word too. I started recording content, so this is kind of like the first piece of content that I'm going to be putting out there. But like, I get these light bulb moments constantly.
Yeah.
And so I would love for you to try this one, man. This is one of my favorite things that I started to make. So.
And you got up early this morning and started hooking this up. Huh?
Yeah. It's a combination of a traditional Asian style of cooking a lobster where they normally would do ginger scallion, but instead of I omitted the ginger scallion and I just replaced it with escovitch.
Yeah, I see that. Whoa, and you got chunks, delicious chunks of lobster. You got to smell this. It has the spices and everything in there too.
Yeah.
What are some of the spices you put in there?
So
I can smell like garlic and some other things.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on. So traditionally, to do the ginger scallion lobster, you use a lot of ginger, a lot of garlic, and then it's made with oyster sauce and a little chicken broth. And then you balance that out now with the escovitch, where traditionally we use onions and peppers and vinegar. So you combine that together, and it's a wonderful little like flavor bomb in your mouth.
Wow.
And then that buttery lobster, fantastic.
Well, how do you stay thin and be around food all the time like this?
I am incredibly disciplined. So, like growing up, I was actually a chunky kid, and in my early 20s, I decided to, make a change on a healthier side. I was at Fordham University at the time, and I was trying to run to class, and I lost my breath, and I was like, wait a minute. Let's do something about this. And ever since then, it's almost like this strange, almost like internal body dysmorphia. Yeah. That was an homage to my 4-year-old self for my 40th birthday. I got a designer to recreate an outfit that's probably one of my favorite pictures of all time. And like I went to Aruba with friends and family, and it was a perfect moment.
This is a tough thing to do up here, Kimanie. To smell all the foods and everything, and you got the flavors going through your mouth and you're salivating, and I'm trying to ask you questions. I should put a bib on while I'm doing this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Can you share your story with our audience? Of course, you said you're from Jamaica, and how you achieved the success across everything that you've been doing.
A lot of this is attributed to being a first-generation immigrant. I came here, my mom always told me, like, if you're good at something, you might as well go for it and try it at least once, and you never know. And, growing up, as I mentioned, I was a little portly little kid, but then I lost the weight in my early 20s, and then all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I'm on runways and in editorials on the magazine covers, and but at the same time, it was just that self-determination of like, hey, if you can, you might as well try. And same thing now with my catering business. It was, a chivalrous act that got me here, but at the same time, too, I already knew that I had the talent and the background from cooking for over 2 decades. So I said, you know what, let's bring it to the public. And I utilize my food as a way to bring the community together, honestly. That's really where it all comes back. Because food, to me, is a love language. It's my way of showing love. And growing up, as a openly gay man now, I look back and I realize that what really got me interested in cooking was that's how I recognize love. that's how I felt it. So my memories of love are behind the table, eating with my mom and my aunts. So even at my events, at my pop-ups, I love, yeah, exactly. I love watching people sit down and just have a conversation over a bite of something that I created for them.
I would pull one of these plates over to me and start eating. I got the fork and everything here, but everybody in the studio is like, don't touch it until after we're done.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I brought the oxtail for you. I know we
There
mentioned
you
it the
go.
last time too. Some oxtail with butter bean or broad bean, whichever one you want to
there
call
we go.
it. And then on the right here as well, I created like a nice little cool little jerk shrimp fried rice.
Yeah.
And a little bit of coconut milk to give it a nice little balance. And then I like to wash things down with, I like to call it, you know how people say rum punch?
Yeah.
Mine is a little bit heavy-handed, so it's not a rum punch. In Jamaica, instead of a punch, we say it with thump, so it's a rum thump.
Rum thump.
Rum thump.
Got the thump in it right there.
Rum thump. Yeah.
And it's just missing one thing, and that's it. Like when you get off the plane, you go to Jamaica, and then, of course, you know, you're going to get your cocoa.
Oh, yeah, patty and cocoa bread. Oh, man, that brings back so many childhood
That's next
memories. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, see, that's the other thing, too, that I would
setting it up.
love to do is I would love to, like, you know, just continue to explore different dishes on, like, certain days. So, like, National Margarita Day, I'm going to make a dish to go with that.
Watch out.
Cinco de Mayo, I'm going to make a dish to go with that. Barbecue month, I'm going to make a dish to go with that. So, you know, come back on in and share some of these creations as I create them with you.
So from banking to Kim's Kitchen,
yeah.
talk about the in-betweens. Are you still doing the banking?
I am still doing the banking.
Because you're making money, so you put
And
the
as-
money in the bank.
As a matter of fact, one of my favorite things to do is I actually love making lunch for my team. So everybody on my team has had my food at some point or another.
Yeah.
And that was part of the entire experience. So even when at my pop-ups, there's always a little section of coworkers who are there because they're like, okay, we ate this, so we know it's good, so we're going to come and experience it from, you know, a broader perspective.
Did they come up to you and say, hey, you know, can you maybe prepare something for Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a thing, and it's part of the driving force behind why I just will never give up when it comes to cooking, because cooking is my joy. It's my experience of how I showcase talent. It's one of the many talents, or as some of my friends would say, it's one of my many side quests. I'm a gamer, so I will go on a side quest, and being a chef is one of my most amazing side quests so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kim's Kitchen, where's it located?
So Kim's
And you
Kitchen,
cater also, though.
I cater. And what I'm going to do actually for the summer is I'm turning Kim's Kitchen more into a traveling series. So we've built the foundation, and currently I've been hosting them at Sobro Garden in Mott Haven. But now we're going to also take it on the road and have these more private, curated experiences. Bring it to your rooftop. You have a 40th birthday to celebrate. Bring Kim's Kitchen in. A baby shower, bring Kim's Kitchen in. And we got you.
I was invited to dinner. I think it was there were correction officers, and they were higher up, you know, I think they were captains and whatever they are, way up. And they invited a guy to come over, and they did all the cooking right there, and they had the coconut stuff and everything. It was so good. I didn't want to be greedy, but it was so good I wanted to ask for more. But I said, let me just not show, you know, my greed in here, because I was really, really hungry, and I wanted more, but it was really, really good, whatever they did. So you'll be going around to different places like that, too.
Yeah.
You'll be on call like a doctor.
Yeah, almost. It's just like I'm a food doctor.
Yeah.
I'm here to inject you with a little bit of itis.
There you go.
Like, I even always say sometimes I don't fully believe in dessert. That's probably one of the things that also helps me stay a little bit together. I don't, like, if you eat my food and you're still hungry and you want some dessert afterwards, I failed. I failed. You should want a rum tum, and that's it. Go lay down.
A rum tum, go rub your tum and lay down. Or scratch it like this.
Yeah.
Good. So where do we go from here? What are some of the other dishes that you prepare?
So
I know you mentioned you're going to coincide with the holidays that are coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be a major part of what's going to drive the next phase of Kim's Kitchen. So we've already established that there are some fundamental dishes that I just am not allowed to not make. I have to make my oxtail. And my friends absolutely love my ginger scallion lobster, so I find new ways to flip it. But now, like you said, with the holidays coming around, every holiday I kind of want to create a themed dish, because one of my favorite things to do is challenge myself.
Yeah.
I can get bored very easily. So if I don't have something to look forward to in terms of like trying to make something new, then why am I doing it?
Yeah. So wait a minute. Do we have the plates ready, guys? You got the plates? Well, look, we'll fold up some napkins and pull out some. We'll make a plate. Right?
Yeah.
Great. Now, talk about the catering business. People can call you up and just say, hey, we want this. Can you bring this over? Can you prepare this for us?
So that's the next phase of it as well. So you can
you
find
let them
me.
know what you have to offer.
I do consultations. I like to have what I'm cooking reflect what you would like as well. So lately I've started to do a lot more private settings. So you can find me on Instagram at Kimanie, Ki, 3 A's in the middle, N-I-E, or at Chef Kimanie. And I do one-on-one consultations with you to figure out, what's the vibe you're trying to get? Because I'm going to insert myself, just like I insert myself into other cuisines, I'm going to insert myself into what your vision is.
So you do the psychographics and demographics. You want to find out who these people are that are coming over to your house?
Yeah.
Who are you catering to?
Of course, because if you say you love somebody, guess what? You know that person, right? So if I want to cook out of love, I need to know who you are as well so that I can meet you somewhere in the middle. So that's why I like to have a personal connection to the people that I'm cooking with. And that's one of the reasons why I've kind of wanted to scale Kim's Kitchen back from just like a big grandiose thing that I'm not McDonald's. I'm not, a fast food. I want this to be a full-on experience.
But you're going to have those people that are going to say, hey, you know what, I'm not telling.
Yeah.
They're going to make it look like they cooked the food.
Yeah.
I ain't telling where I got this from.
But hey, when it comes to me, you can't, I don't think I can hide my flavors to save myself because I am bold. I am very distinct. So like when you have my food, there's a 9 out of 10 chance you're probably not going to have it from anybody else because I'm crazy when it gets into the kitchen.
Yeah. They're going to know after a while, nah, you didn't cook that. I know where that came. That came from Kim's Kitchen.
Exactly.
I know where it came from.
Exactly.
You had an event last month.
Yeah.
How did that go? Talk about it.
That was absolutely fantastic. And I know you had, you're having someone from Louisiana, but that was one of the biggest compliments I ever got. There was a grandmother that's from Louisiana, and she came up to me and she said, baby, I don't know what you did with that, but
look at you. Say, start from the beginning, baby.
Baby, I don't know what you did to that, but that's probably some of the best oxtail I ever had. You keep doing what you're doing. And I said, you know what? If Miss Louisiana is telling me, and this is a Louisiana grandmama, no higher praise.
They know.
No higher praise. Yeah,
they know. I am so tempted. Give me your website, email, and all that stuff, and while you're doing it.
Yeah, jump on in.
This fork right here?
Yeah, jump on in.
What should I do? Just pull this over here?
Yeah, pull on a piece.
There we go.
See, fall off the bone.
Can I add some rice to it?
Add some rice. This is like a classic Sunday
right
dinner.
Off the bone.
With a twist.
Oh, I almost said it. I almost said it. I was going to say, oh, shoot. Very good.
Thank you.
The taste explodes in your mouth. Very tasty, very tasty.
And that's the hope, the balance, the explosion, the bomb, the flavor bomb. I'm always there for it. I love the reactions.
Tell everybody where to get this from again.
Easiest way to find me is via Instagram. I am at Kimanie, Kimaaaanie, and that feel free to DM, and I will. I'm a very responsive person when it comes to that. Everybody's voice matters, and I would love to just continue to explore different ways to collaborate and bring my flavors to the public.
Well, I'm chewing. Say hi. I'm Kimanie Travoy.
Hi, I'm Kimanie Travoy.
Chef entrepreneur.
Chef, entrepreneur, model, banker, you name it. I'm a jack of all trades, and I'm a modern day Renaissance man, but I'm here to honestly just bring people together through one bite at a time. Whether you're vegan, vegetarian, a full-on meat eater, I'm the kind of person where I like to meet you where you are, because that's love to me.
Much love. Kimanie, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thanks for coming in, and thanks for sharing.
Of course.
Of course, we wish Kimanie the best with everything that he's doing and hope to have him back in the studio soon because he's going to bring back some of those really, really good dishes, too. We'll take a quick break. I've got more Open coming out.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. 55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. %34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit BronxNet.org to learn more.
Welcome back. We were visited by a young man that's doing great things in the Norwood community with his mobile library. We spoke to him about his business and how it has grown over the last 7 years, and so much more. Let's take a look back at our conversation with Brandon Montes.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you enjoying what you see so far? What you've seen so far on the show?
I do. It's definitely some interesting stories, and I'm glad to be on the card, so to speak. With different voices being highlighted here in the Bronx. I love the Bronx myself, born and raised here. So, to be on BronxNet is a big deal to me. And I'm with the community library. I'm always trying to highlight Bronx voices, us reading in the Bronx, positivity for the Bronx.
So, since you said you're happy to be on the card, you into boxing?
Actually, I'm a big pro wrestling fan, to be honest.
They have a card too, right?
Yeah, they have a card too, yeah.
I knew it was one of those.
Yeah.
So listen, how did you get started in Norwood Community Library?
Well, yeah, back in 2018, I was working for the city in social work at the time. I was thinking about how could I help? How could I do something in my community, something small but impactful in my own way? At the time, we did not have a bookstore in the Bronx. We have Litboard now, which is great, but Barnes & Noble left, and there wasn't a single independent bookstore in the Bronx.
Barnes & Noble was in Co-op City, right?
Yeah.
I know Steve Harvey did a big book signing over there.
Of course.
That day.
RIP Barnes & Noble, it was a community place for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it spoke to me that we don't have, we didn't have a bookstore at the time, and we have very limited, amounts of bookstores today. So it made me think about what's our relationship with reading in the Bronx.
Yeah.
So anyone who likes to read has some extra books to spare, and so I started taking some extra books I had. I used to be at Tempe Scholastic. They got rid of a lot of stuff, and so I had some stuff from those days, my own personal collection, and I started taking a milk crate. I chained it to like a fence near the deli, even though it seems a little rudimentary there, a community came from that.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that happen.
Yeah. So in a way, it's like kind of like a Bronx version of a little library. But with the pandemic, I switched formats because I felt more responsibility about watching what I give out. So I started tabling. And I've also helped establish some little libraries in the neighborhood that I put books into when I'm not tabling.
Right.
Yeah. But for 7 years, I would say probably given out about 10,000 books over the last 7 years. Yeah.
So are you reaching out to people to bring books to you?
Yes. It's like the hours that I table, people bring books, people grab books. It's kind of like a communal, like liminal space where people can share what they have, and we're all coming together to read together.
Yeah. I'm traveling throughout the 5 boroughs. I've seen the tabling in different boroughs all throughout Brooklyn and all over the place. And I also was sitting outside in Manhattan. I was sitting outside of a dentist, just waiting for my turn to go in.
Yeah.
And people were going by and they were taking books out of this little slot.
Yeah.
And people were bringing books and putting them back in. That's probably what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Because I was wondering what that was.
Yeah. If you go in the lobby of North Central Hospital, there's a little. I think they showed a picture of it on the screen there.
It's like a mailbox.
Yeah, exactly. So people can put books there. There's also one I've helped out with in the park in Williamsbridge Oval Park at 3400 Reservoir Oval East. That's made of wood that people can put books into, and there's also one I helped establish with the MMCC, the Mashula Montefiore Community Center, and so I just want to, libraries are great. I just want to add on on top of that, This is a mutual aid library, so everyone kind of has more of a role in there, So and I've also done book clubs and things like that. Also did clothing drives, food drives. It's been a labor of love over 7 years.
So you are a mobile library.
Yes. I like to call myself a street librarian.
Yeah. So we need to get you
Like a physical space?
A
That would
van.
be cool. Or a van, that would be cool.
You can bring libraries to different communities.
Yeah, especially, as books, are kind of, on the chopping block in a lot different walks of life, book bans and all that stuff. I would love to, drive over all across the country maybe one day, giving out banned books or giving out other resources that people need.
Banning books, wow.
Yeah.
How can you take books off the shelves?
I don't know.
And it's
it makes me sad.
And free.
Yeah.
Just,
Exactly.
just read what you want to read.
Exactly. That's the importance of reading in general, because there's got to be a reason that people don't want us reading certain things.
Yeah.
So it makes me want to read about it even more.
Yes.
You know?
What does 7 years in operation mean to you?
7 years, it's just it's very humbling. It's an honor to serve the Bronx. I'm born and raised here, and I love it here. I kind of look at this borough maybe through rose-colored glasses. I just love this place so much. So it's been truly a privilege to help serve and give out as many books as I have. And also, I want to thank everyone who has stopped by and taken a book to keep this going. People who have donated money as well, or people who have donated books or come and tabled with me. This has been I am the leader of it. It's a non-traditional organization that is mostly me and volunteers that cycle in and out.
Yeah.
But I would be nowhere without the Bronx community.
And you got a lot of people to help you out
Exactly.
and that you interact with.
Yes.
Is there Jessica from Kingsbridge?
Yes, Kingsbridge Unidos.
Yes.
Yeah, we did buckets for the Bronx last summer.
Right.
And I believe they're gonna have an anniversary picnic, and I'll probably stop by with some books as well.
You got to table it.
I'll table, yeah.
Table it. Bring the cover just in case.
Of course, yeah. I have a parasol. Someone donated a parasol, but because sometimes the sun's a little much, and this rain has been a lot lately.
Right.
But I'll take the precautions. But I would love to table. Anywhere. It's just I also kind of limited because I don't have a car. But I usually stick to my neighborhood. And for me, I don't stretch myself too thin. That's why I feel like it's been able to last as well,
Well, I can see you in one of those, like a camper. The thing comes out where, you keep the rain off of you. You have your tables under there. Mm-hmm. You can do your books. Yeah. And it's very special if you want people to come into your trailer.
Maybe. What I am working on is maybe having like a non-traditional third space. I'm getting some chairs, and while I'm tabling, I'm inviting people when I get another chair, but I'm inviting people to sit down and read if they want for a few as well, for free. Sit down somewhere for free.
Yeah, and what if you had that where you could sleep in it too, like a Winnebago, and you can travel to
maybe.
You
You know what?
Somewhere I'm gonna wake up here at 6 o'clock in the morning and open up
table.
Yeah.
That is you might be cooking right now. This is that does sound good. I do have my day job, but at the same time, maybe one day this is what I do full time. Yeah. So
I have this vehicle over here 6 o'clock in the morning because after I get off of my day job, I'm going to come and meet you to set up the table and everything.
and thankfully, was able to do different book drives. So like maybe we could get other people in different communities involved as well.
Yeah. Do you have anything special planned for the 7th anniversary?
Well, I kind of do it week to week because I'm at the mercy of the weather outside. Yeah. So I don't know if it's gonna rain on August 26th, but I am reflecting a lot on like what could I do? Maybe maybe have a barbecue or something. Yeah. With some free food. I'm somewhat of a Seinfeld character. I have a soup friend that'll make it's a ceremony cerebellum. They've helped me, and like they'll charge a fee and they'll serve the soup, like 80 servings of soup. Yeah. So I might do something like that.
They'll pay you, but they'll
I'll pay them for the soup to serve the soup. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And what if they charge for the soup and they give you a portion of what they charge? You just add a little more.
No, the soup is going to be free for the community. So I just like raise the money to pay them what they need for their services and give it out in the neighborhood and stuff like that.
There you go.
But
just make sure it's not 90 degrees though.
Exactly. So
but I love soup in 90-degree weather.
We pretend we're back on the island.
Cool off a little bit.
Exactly. But so I maybe later maybe fall, winter for the soup. But so I'm thinking I'm brainstorming ideas. But I also want to encourage people to give me their books, and also encourage people to table with me. And also, if there's a project they're passionate about that's similar, I say go for it because it's been very rewarding. I'm on this show today because of this initiative. Like it's
somebody came by and saw you tabling. And they said, "Hey, man, you need to come on and talk about this."
Talk about this.
Yeah, 7 years coming up.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm tabling the next time on the 17th. Yes.
Yeah.
So I post on social media week to week when I'm tabling, but I'm reflecting and also very thankful for 7 whole years. I remember I talked to Word of Books that said 7 years is when you're gonna kind of feel the pinch, like you're gonna feel like, what am I doing? Do I want to do this still? But I still feel very passionate about this as well. Oh, and also they showed some. I've also engaged the community by posting. Writers from the Bronx and painters tape to get a little street art to get people thinking like what's going on there and to get them interested in Bronx voices.
Oh wow! And now producer Steven can hook you up with some people who are doing some street art and all that stuff too. Yeah, there's a young lady that comes on. Okay, she does some fantastic work. You can team up. Partnership is in.
Partnership. Are in. Let's collaborate. Yeah, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, so social media, website. We got about a minute.
Okay. The social media is Norwood Community Library at Instagram, Norwood BX Books on X. It's X now, right? I don't want to use the dead name or whatever. And then if you want to reach out to table, collaborate, the email is norwoodcommunitylibrary@gmail.com.
There you go. Yeah. All right. You got a tent?
I have a parasol, but I mostly stick to tabling.
Tabling?
Yeah.
Okay. Just in case,
Yeah.
Keep
a tent would maybe be a good idea.
Sun.
Yeah.
Rain.
Yeah.
Pollen.
Yeah. I'm battling all the elements when I'm out there.
But it's a good thing. You got to be out there, man, pounding the pavement.
You got to be ready for everything in New York City.
And play that song in the background, Boots on the Ground.
Boots are on the ground, yes.
Thank you so much. Give me that social media and website one more time.
Of course. The Instagram is Norwood Community Library. On X, it's Norwood BX Books. And if you ever want to collaborate, table, bounce some ideas, you can email me at norwoodcommunitylibrary@gmail.com.
There you go. Brandon Montes, founder, Norwood Community Library. We thank you for showing up and hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
We were kicking some ideas back and forth.
Of course. We might have to get in the lab together. I don't know.
There you go. That's how it
happens. Let's do it.
All right. Congratulations on the 7 years in business. We appreciate the work that Brandon is doing for the Norwood community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We look forward to seeing you and all the wonderful things that you're doing in the future and wish that you have continued success. We'll take a quick break. I've got more. We'll continue to give it to you right here on BronxNet.
We're going to start the show right now. This is my favorite part. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, this is Angel, and I am one of the instructors for the in-studio production. Here at BronxNet, we offer classes that can help you elevate, expand, and start your television career. All you have to do is sign up at bronxnet.org/education. For the past 7 years, I have been in various productions, spanning from talk shows, independent films, news reports, art displays, teachings, musical performances, and many more. Ain't that right, Angel? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Angel. There are a lot of creative individuals that we're just waiting to sign up for the class. And if I may, can I also express that? Thank you, Angel. That's all the time we have left. Visit BronxNet.org/education and become a producer by taking the course. The class I offer is also in English, en español y también bilingüe. Nos vemos en la próxima clase.
Welcome back. From one milestone celebration to another, we had a wonderful time sitting down with someone who's been giving back in more ways than one. Let's take a look back at our conversation with the founder of Kingsbridge Unidos, Jessica Altagracia Woolford. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bob Lee. It's always great to be here with you.
So, nice to be here with you, too. Now, the last time you were here, we were talking about...
buckets.
The buckets.
Buckets for the Bronx.
Buckets for the Bronx.
Yes.
Refresh my memory.
Yes. Buckets for the Bronx. We've hosted 2 incredible free 3v3 high school basketball tournaments over the past few years. Our first one was right here at Lehman College. And we are getting ready to prepare for the 3rd annual Buckets, but that's not going to be till February because we really want this to be big. And you know, for the folks at Lehman listening, we're hoping they'll give us the main gym so that we can play under the lights. But
so we're just going to give you a little taste of that.
Yeah.
But give us a little background on yourself and how was it growing up, like in Kingsbridge?
Sure.
Queensbridge, Kingsbridge.
Kingsbridge.
I know, I'm from Queensbridge.
That's all right. We won't hold that against you.
I represent Queens. She was raised out in
Kingsbridge. I was born and raised in Kingsbridge. You know, my grandma was a home health aide, and I remember taking all of those long walks because my up the hill because my mom worked at Loman's back in the day, and childcare was hard for a single mom, and so I spent a lot of time with my grandma cooking and following her at work, and she taught me from an early age that you care for people through food, right? And so during the height of the pandemic in June of 2020, when folks were struggling with basics, where am I going to get groceries? Where am I going to get information, trusted information? We got to work. I fundraised from my professional network. I've been working in government service for over 10 years now, and just organizing. And I asked folks, how can we come together and purchase wholesale produce from the Hunts Point Produce Market? So shout out to Dorigo and to the former GM, Phil Grant there, and former State Senator Alessandra Biaggi, who connected us with a really incredible vendor who we made some arrangements with, and we started essentially a free CSA program for the tenants in my grandma's building. And after knocking on doors and delivering produce, we started to ask families, what else could we help you with? Then we learned people just needed joy.
Yeah.
They needed joy.
Yeah.
They needed 5 minutes to themselves, and they needed to know that someone was thinking about them. So that's the start of Kingsbridge Unidos, and since then we've done basketball tournaments, we've distributed bikes, we're going to distribute some more bikes at this upcoming event I'm excited to tell you about, and we continue to grow. So we're marking 5 years, which is kind of bittersweet, but amazing.
Yeah, but what inspired you to start Kingsbridge Unidos?
You know, I think...
when I think of Unidos, I think of uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Uno, dos, tres, let's get to work. Yeah, let's get to work. You know, like I mentioned, from my grandma, and I grew up in a Dominican family, you really do gather around food. And I know you're talking to a lot of, you're talking to folks who are going to be talking about amazing food. Food is culture, food is celebration, but food is also connection. And so I saw that there was an opportunity to fill in a leadership void in our community, right? There was a chance for us to just start asking each other, what can we build together? We don't need to rely on policy. We don't need to rely on, you know, different interests. We can do it ourselves.
Talk about some of those services that you provide, though.
Yeah, sure. So, you know, we've distributed almost 100,000 pounds of produce over the last 5 years.
That's big.
Huge, because, you know, health is wealth, and that comes through produce and fresh foods. 2 years ago, we had a huge bike giveaway, children's bike giveaway on Three Kings Day. Shout out to State Senator Gustavo Rivera, who helped us secure an incredible space in Marble Hill, and we had over 200 people there. We gave away, we raffled 26 children's bikes that we rescued from a former bike shop. We rehabbed them thanks to the, I mean, I don't even know how many hours these volunteers put into repairing those bikes to make sure they were safe and they were ready to ride. We partnered with the New York City Department of Transportation to make sure that kids had helmets, they had, you know, lights, and the parents felt, okay, I'm all right with my kid taking off on this bike.
And riding those bike lanes.
Yeah, we need more bike lanes, of course. And then we've done Buckets for the Bronx, which has been, I grew up playing basketball. I played basketball in Van Cortlandt. I played in high school until I messed up my knee, so I don't jump anymore. But, you know, basketball also, what we started to learn from organizing with folks is people want to just play.
We're playing basketball.
Yes. They want to vibe. They want music. They want community. They want somewhere to go with their friends, somewhere safe to play. So Buckets has been a huge part of Kingsbridge Unidos' growth. And as we're looking ahead to the next 5 years, it's becoming clearer to me that the direction for us is to create a third space.
Yeah. Do they still use that term, buckets or baskets?
We still use it. We still use buckets, but maybe I'm an elder millennial, so I don't know.
No, well, we're gonna mix it in so everybody knows what it is.
Yes, exactly. Buckets, you know.
Yeah,
it's
the buckets,
swish.
the basket.
It's that.
Swit.
Yeah. Of course.
So you have you did the things for the Three Kings. Of course, that's in December, January after Christmas, the Three Kings Christmas. And then you have something coming up now.
We do. On
April 26th.
April 26th, we hope to see you. We hope to see the folks in studio. But on April 26th from 12 to 3 at Van Cortlandt Park, by the handball courts and the basketball courts, because we are in the Bronx, we're going to be inviting everybody who's ever come to an event, who's been curious about an event, who lives in the neighborhood, come together, eat some good food, and talk about what have we done these last 5 years? What do we want to do next? Because I firmly believe in Kingsbridge Unidos is rooted in leading, letting folks lead, right? Letting folks who are impacted, the parents, the kids. We often dismiss the views of young folks. We're like, we know better. I don't know better. I don't know what it's like to be a 17-year-old in the Bronx right now, post-COVID. And so we want to make sure that as we build for the future, we're inviting folks to shape that. Yeah.
What does it look like for the next 5 years?
Well, my hope is to raise a lot of money and build a third space. And by third space, I mean, you know, I grew up going to St. John's and going to Mass with my family. Visitation has closed down. There are a lot of institutions of faith that are closing in our communities, and there aren't enough community centers. So when I mentioned, you know, Senator Gustavo Rivera, I called him and I was like, we need a space to give away and repair some bikes. And thankfully, you know, he's a creative guy, and he got on the phone, and through a connection with Essen Health, we found a location that we were able to use, but it's too hard to find places to gather. I'm not someone who wants to go to the bar all the time. I don't want to go, you know, that can't be the only space for us to gather. We need to
Gustavo, he's a great guy.
He is. He's
really
a gem.
He's
a
I like
gem.
him a lot.
Yeah.
So you have that coming up. What should people expect?
Oh, people should expect good food. Because that's what we do.
I'll be there.
We're gonna yes, be there. We're gonna give away some children's bikes, so we're gonna raffle off some bikes. And I've been debating this with some friends. I don't know what we call them, but we're gonna give away a granny cart. You know what? I don't know what you guys call them. But in Spanish, you know, we call them just a coche.
Coche.
Yeah, you know, the little carts to do your shopping and your compra.
A stroller.
Yeah, well, not a stroller. But
Shopping cart.
A shopping cart. A shopping cart, right. So we're going to give away
strollers as shopping carts, too.
That's true. That's
Some
true.
people.
You got to be creative. So
got to get the food home.
You got to get it home somehow. Exactly. So we'll be giving away some fun stuff. We'll have some family-friendly activities, play some basketball, and we're just going to break bread. And have some good vibes. So from 12 to 3 at Van Cortlandt on Broadway by the stadium.
And that's on the 26th
That's
of
on
April.
Saturday the 26th. So after Easter, so you have time.
There you go.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
You got website and everything. Here it is right here. Look.
Yes,
look.
yes. Here's our poster. Thank you
From
for
day
sharing
1
that.
to year 5.
Yes, and if folks have questions or if they're interested in sponsoring anything for the event, you know, you can email me at saludos, which is SALUDOS. That means hello in Spanish. Saludos at kingsbridgeunidos.org. I'm also on Instagram at jessica.altagracia. I read my DMs. Unless you're funny, I'm not reading it. But, you know, we really want to make sure that folks have a chance to share the good vibes, you know, take stock, celebrate Haram, who has been an incredible partner of mine from Cash Cow NYC. Shout out to him. You know, we often talk about how hard it is for us to take a moment and just look around and celebrate what you've done. And so that's what this is. It's a thank you. Thank you. Let's move forward in gratitude.
And thank you for coming.
Thank
All right,
you.
Jessica Altagracia.
Thank you so much.
Gracias. World Food Founder, Kingsbridge Unidos.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank
Come
you.
back again, okay?
I will. I definitely will. Thank you so much.
If you're still playing now, I have a basketball in the car.
Let's go. I keep a ball in my trunk.
Yeah.
So.
That's how you do it. Congratulations on your 5-year anniversary, Jessica. And thank you for the work that you're doing in our community. You're helping others get what they need out of life, and I think that's a wonderful thing. We wish you continued success with the Kingsbridge Unidos and all of your endeavors. We appreciate you. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. We want to thank our guests for joining us, you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. Make sure you keep following us on BronxNet TV for continued coverage. Thank you for letting us share in this space and time with you. You can join our hosts, Jonathan Calaxo, Darren Jaime, and Rena Valentine on the other episodes of Open coming your way. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking it all out. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. And I'll catch you another day, another way. And I'll see you over 107.5 WVLS. I love you all. Peace.